Welcome to Concept Craft. We are presenting step-by-step videos training to crack your certification exam, so you can gain the confidence to take on any accounting challenge. Now let's begin our today's lesson.
Using QuickBooks Payments. Learning outcomes. In this lesson, we'll cover using QuickBooks Payments in QuickBooks Online. Topics: adding a payment method for invoices and sales receipts. How QuickBooks Payments works on invoices. Using QuickBooks Payments with sales receipts. Payment links, instant deposits, and QuickBooks Go Payment. Setting up recurring payments using QuickBooks Payments. Recurring invoices with AutoPay. Matching QuickBooks Payments transactions in the bank feed. Maximizing efficiency. Clients who have signed up for QuickBooks Payments will be keen to start using the instant payment processing service. However, they may not be sure how to use QuickBooks Payments as a payment method for invoices and sales receipts, or how to set up recurring payments. This is where you come in. How can you and QuickBooks Online help? Once a client has QuickBooks Payments up and running, it's straightforward to link it to a payment method such as a credit or debit card. Customers will then be able to pay invoices and sales receipts instantly and easily, and the client will get an immediate notification that payment has been made. Clients can make things even quicker by adding payment links. Let's start by looking at how clients can set up a payment method for sales and invoices. Adding a payment method for invoices and sales receipts. Once a client has set up and activated QuickBooks Payments, they can add it as a payment method on invoices and sales receipts. To do this, they first need to set up a payment method as follows. Go to the gear icon, followed by All Lists. Select Payment Methods. Select a payment method from the list. In this example, we'll choose MasterCard. Open the drop-down next to Run Report and select Edit. Enable the checkbox for this as a credit card. Sales receipts and invoice payments can now be processed by QuickBooks Payments when the client chooses MasterCard as the payment method. Note: the client will need to repeat this process for any other payment methods that they want to work with QuickBooks Payments. How QuickBooks Payments works on invoices. Let's look at what happens when a client using QuickBooks Payments creates an invoice for a customer. Select each heading to explore the invoicing and payment process. What should the client do when they create the invoice? When the client creates an invoice, they can select how they'd like to get paid, credit card or ACH or both. The client can choose which payment options to include by selecting Edit. Once the client has filled in the invoice details, they can send it via email to their customer to make payment. Here's an example invoice. What happens when the customer receives the invoice? When the customer receives the email, they can tap Review and Pay to view the invoice in a browser. The customer can make the payment, as you'll see next. How does the customer make payment? When the customer selects Review and Pay on the invoice, they can enter the payment information, debit card, bank transfer, or credit card. When the customer has filled in the payment details, they select Pay Amount. The customer receives a payment confirmation and can print or download the receipt directly from the browser. What if the customer doesn't want to pay immediately? If the customer wants QuickBooks Online to automatically take the payment from their account at a later date, they can use the payment date box at the bottom of the screen to schedule it. Note that customers don't need an Intuit account to use the Schedule Pay feature. However, if they check the Save Payment Method to Pay Faster Next Time box, they will be asked to create one to store their payment info for future use. How does QuickBooks Online let the customer know that payment has been made? When the customer makes the payment, the client also receives a notification. If the client is using the QuickBooks Online mobile app, a notification pops up on their mobile device, and they also receive an email notification of the payment. The payment status is automatically updated in QuickBooks Online. There's no need for clients to record the payment or the deposit. QuickBooks Online does it all. Using QuickBooks Payments with sales receipts. If customers pay clients at the time of sale, there's no need to create and send an invoice. In these cases, clients need to create a sales receipt, which will record both the sale and payment on the same screen in QuickBooks Online. Customers can then be emailed the sales receipts so they have a record of the sale. If the client uses QuickBooks Payments and selects a credit card as the payment method, they'll get an option to process credit card. To process payment, the client then needs to select Enter Credit Card Details and fill in the necessary details. Finally, the client saves the sales receipt and sends it to the customer. Payment links, instant deposits, and QuickBooks Go Payment. Clients using QuickBooks Payments have access to 3 additional features to make things faster. Payment links, instant deposits, QuickBooks Go Payment. Select each feature name to see how it can benefit your clients. Payment links, instant deposits, QuickBooks Go Payment. Payment links. Payment links are single-use links that clients can send to their customers in emails or messages. Each link automatically expires once the customer has paid. Payment links are great if your client expects their customer to pay straight away. If your client doesn't need the customer to pay immediately, or the customer has payment terms with the client, an online payment option added to invoices would be better. You saw how to do this earlier. Instant deposits. With QuickBooks Payments, it can take a few days to get the money into your client's bank account. If clients need access to payment funds quickly, they can activate the QuickBooks Payments Instant Deposit feature. They'll need to do this themselves in QuickBooks Online. It's not something you can do for them. With instant deposits, for an additional charge of 1% per transaction, available funds can be instantly deposited into the client's designated bank account. Clients can deposit a minimum of $1 or a maximum of $2,000 up to 3 times a day, as long as they don't exceed the daily $2,000 limit. Clients can also schedule instant deposits for certain days of the week. To do this, they should open Account and Settings. Select the Payments tab and go to the Deposit Speed section. Select Change. In the Set up your instant deposit schedule pop-up, select the days you want instant deposits for. Select Save Schedule. Follow the link for more information about instant deposits in QuickBooks Online. Setting up recurring payments using QuickBooks Payments. If clients have configured QuickBooks Payments to work with a credit card, ACH, Visa, or MasterCard, they can set up a recurring charge that will be automatically sent to customers. They can do this by setting up a recurring sales receipt that will automatically record the sale in QuickBooks Online and deposit funds into the client's bank account. This is a great way of automatically billing and getting paid for services such as monthly maintenance plans or service agreements. However, the client must have written authorization from their customer to charge a recurring amount. The authorization form appears automatically when saving a new recurring sales receipt, as you'll see later. How do you create a recurring sales receipt? From Account and Settings, select Recurring Transactions New Sales Receipt OK. Start filling in the recurring sales receipt details, as you would any other sales receipt. This process is explained in the lesson on sales receipts. As you're creating a recurring sales receipt, you need to specify how often, and on what date, QuickBooks Online should send it to the customer. Enter these details in the interval section. To use QuickBooks Payments, you need to select a payment method that's set up accordingly. You saw how to set up a payment method earlier in the lesson. Choose the payment method, then select Enter Credit Card Details. Enter the customer's credit card details and select Save Note. If this is the first recurring sales receipt your client is creating for this customer, they'll need written authorization from the customer to take payment. The credit card information panel includes a link to download the authorization form. When you've added the credit card details, ensure that the Process Credit Card box is checked. This tells QuickBooks Online to process payments via QuickBooks Payments. Complete the rest of the details as with any other sales receipt. When you're done, select Save Template. That's it! Your client is now set up to process sales receipt payments using QuickBooks Payments. Recurring invoices with AutoPay. With QuickBooks Payments, clients can enable the AutoPay feature with a recurring invoice for their customers. The AutoPay function allows customers to automatically settle their regular invoices. Select each of the tabs to find out how it works. Enabling AutoPay. Using AutoPay. Enabling AutoPay. To allow customers to use the AutoPay function, clients need to set up a recurring invoice in the following way. They need to use an invoice template. Currently, AutoPay only supports recurring invoices. From the Type drop-down, they need to select Scheduled. They need to check the Automatically Send Emails option. In the Online Payment section, they need to define which payment methods the customer can use with AutoPay. Using AutoPay. When the customer receives the invoice by email and selects the Review and Pay button, they have the option to check the AutoPay box before selecting the Pay button. With AutoPay enabled, QuickBooks Online takes care of all future payments related to this recurring invoice. Note that if the customer doesn't have an Intuit account, they will be prompted first to create one. Matching QuickBooks payments transactions in the bank feed. As you may have seen in the lesson on managing the bank feed, payment transactions come into QuickBooks Online via the bank feed. You or the client can then review and add the transactions. QuickBooks can do this automatically by matching bank deposits corresponding to QuickBooks payments transactions. You can find and view details on automatically matched transactions in the Banking Center under the Categorized or Review tab. To turn automatic matching off or on, select the grid gear icon and use the automatic matching slider control. Pro Advisor tip. Follow this link for a detailed article on automatic matching for QuickBooks payments. Summing up. Learning outcomes. Well done. In this lesson, we covered using QuickBooks payments in QuickBooks Online. Knowledge recap. QuickBooks Payments makes it easier for clients and customers to send and make payments with invoices and sales receipts. It also allows clients faster access to their money. You can now help your clients get the most out of QuickBooks Payments to save them time and money. Next steps. In the next lesson, we'll look at setting up sales tax.